Welcome back to Let's Have It Out. Let's take a call with Megan from Durban on the line. Hi, Megan. What's your question or comment or answer in these issues that have been raised? Very, very important issues for national discourse. Let's have it.
Sanibona madoda khona.
Ewe.
Unumbingalela. Yithi mina inkinga uthi the people in this country, they don't know how to communicate. Ngoba manje vele uyakhuluma nomlungu. Ngifundile ukukhuluma isiZulu ngoba vele ngifuna ukunderstand abantu ngihlala naye. Ngiyasebenza seduze ngabantu. Ngifuna ukunderstand kahle iculture yakhe and all of those things. Once you understand the culture and once you understand where the people are coming from, it's very difficult to judge umunye umuntu. Ngoba you will see that communication opens all the doors there. Because if African people are forced to speak Isingis when they communicate with white people, why white people don't take the time to learn isiZulu so that they can understand the other person on their level? Really, it's a question that I like to ask other people out there. Take the challenge, like to understand isiZulu and culture.
Thank you so much for such an important question, Megan. I think the question from Megan really revolves around, a need for South Africans to really understand each other's language. Are we doing that? Are we cross-pollinating? Are we ensuring that South Africans understand each other's languages?
We are not cross-pollinating. I mean, most of the time it is us black people, trying to reach out, for white people. The white people are not doing the same. This is why it is important for white people to learn our languages as well. Simply because, acculturation is an important aspect that can build this country. But without necessarily white people learning these languages, then it becomes a problem. Why should we spend time learning their languages and they don't want to learn our languages? This is where social cohesion comes in. And this is where developing this country further culturally, should be looked into.
This is where social cohesion comes in. Now, Dr. Maba, talking about, social cohesion again as our topic of the night, let's now talk about xenophobia. Are we ever going to have these communities talking to each other, cohesing, given this xenophobic outbursts? Are we really, coming up with solutions that are driven by causes of xenophobia? And how to ensure that beyond the borders of this country and in the action of South Africans and other people of other national groups, this cohesion?
Yeah, look, social cohesion is not necessarily or should be limited to South Africa. We have our brothers and sisters from outside the borders who live in South Africa. And of course, the killings or xenophobic tendencies need to be looked into. But also, I must say to you that interaction and putting a society together, integration, is a process. Let's take, for instance, the issue of Nigeria. In 1983, Nigeria expelled more than 1 million citizens of Ghana, chasing them out of the country. And they did so earlier on in 1969. It actually goes on to show that this thing about xenophobia is not limited to South Africa. It is a fallacy. It's an African problem. It's a worldwide problem. I want to cite another example for you. In Zimbabwe today, in spite of the fact that the Ndebelers have been there for more than 200 years, the Ndebelers of Mzilikazi Gamashobane, who had left KZN to the modern-day Zimbabwe, the Ndebelers still feel as outsiders in their own country, have not necessarily fully integrated with the Shona. So you see, the process of social integration takes time, and needs patience.
It's not an event.
It's not an event.
Now, Dr. Maba, let's turn on social media. Let's hear from one of our viewers. We asked on social media if you believe we are united as a country. Save on Facebook. Here's the, the answer. No, we are not. Because people like EFF keep dragging us backwards with their hate for whites. Also, they are racist of whites. So we are far from unity. But there are South Africans who don't see color, who love and respect everyone, while Owen on the Facebook says, I quote, yes, without equality and economic freedom, there can be never unity. Thank you for the comments. I think that was one of those comments lead us to really a question. Talking about, racism, do you think something else was going to be done? Looking at, for instance, our, not just racism, of course, let's turn to curriculum. There's a talk of a curriculum reform between grade 2 and grade 9. History is going to be compulsory. Don't you think that we are actually stigmatizing a history? Why don't we have each and every subject celebrating achievements of Africa in maths, astronomy, and instead of having history as a subject on its own? What about beyond grade 9?
Look, this is a starting point to say that history has to be compulsory from grade 8 to 12. Simply because, the absence of it makes people to be stereotypical, makes people to be racist and so on. People need to learn about our past, where we come from, the problems that we have faced, and the way forward. I think that this is a good starting point. What needs to be looked into is how to integrate history in chemistry, history in the sciences, history in other aspects of law, for instance. If you're studying science, you need to know the origin of science. That actually science originates in Africa. The building of pyramids in Egypt.
Mouthful. Let's take an ad break, and we'll come back on this very important issue of social cohesion.